Yes, I'm wearing a dinosaur onesie, and no, it doesn't make any sense. There's a whole tail and everything. Okay, I am trying a matcha latte for the first time. It's green. You can't really see because the glass is blue, but that's all I have. So, I'm scared. Maybe I put too much milk because I don't taste anything. Me and Kelly watched Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers from 1988. We watched it with the projector, which was a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've watched it. If you factor in the nostalgia, this is probably my favorite movie in the franchise. I think this is the first one that I saw all the way through. I saw this in high school at my cousin's house. In middle school, I spent the night with one of my friends, and her older brother rented the original Halloween for us, but there were some issues with the tracking, or else I think maybe the tape was dirty because we ended up losing picture like pretty early on. But she went to bed and I stayed up just listening and being terrified, even though I had no idea what was happening. So this was the first one I really saw, and it's the first one I owned on VHS. And we did get to see it in the theater once as part of one of those Fathom Events deals. But rewatching it was a lot of fun. I've always loved Ellie Cornell as Rachel. Probably one of my top favorite Final Girl type characters. She could drive a stick shift. Very impressive. And Danielle Harris is fantastic. Put her up against any of the child actors of the 80s. I think she could hold her own. And the two of them are great together. And of course, it's great having Donald Pleasance back as Loomis. I really like Beau Starr as the sheriff. All the cast is great. And there's a lot of great scenes. Like, the gas station scene is awesome. Very eerie. And the scene where Rachel is looking for Jamie when they're trick-or-treating. The atmosphere in that scene is really great. Then later, the whole power going out thing adds to the atmosphere, and there's the whole roof chase scene. Just a lot of awesome stuff in this movie. This time watching it, there was one new thing that I noticed, or if I've noticed it before, I don't remember. And then I just have a question, something I've always not quite understood. At the breakfast scene, Mrs. Carruthers is like, "That's not all you're eating for breakfast." And, Rachel's like, "Mom, I'm on a diet." But then she's eating this huge-ass bagel with cream cheese. That's not diet food. I always assumed it was a grapefruit, from the dialogue, but why couldn't that be all she was eating for breakfast? 80s movies, they always have some huge breakfast spread and then everybody rushes out the door without brushing their teeth. The other thing is when Brady shoots the lock off the door and he's like, "God damn it, it's metal." And Rachel's like, "What does that mean?" What does that mean? Like, he couldn't shoot the lock off because it's metal? Aren't all locks made of metal? And didn't it look like he shot the lock? I don't get it. But then we get the whole roof chase scene, so, I guess I'm glad he couldn't shoot the lock off. Poor Brady. I've thought of one other thing that struck me that I've had to go back and add into this video. This is the first time I've watched this since the David Gordon Green trilogy, which I absolutely love, but it's made me wonder what Halloweens were like for Jamie, because now it seems like she's never been trick-or-treating before, mostly because of that one line where she's like, "Trick-or-treating is great." And another thing that I like about this movie that I thought I'd mention is Rachel's friend Lindsay meant to be Lindsay from the original movie? Because that's kind of the impression that I got. Because there's someone credited as Tommy Doyle, and I'm assuming it's Brady's other friend in that scene in the discount mart. If so, I like this better than any version of Tommy we got after this. Okay, that's all I'm going to add. Because we could be here all day. I will rate this 9 fire extinguishers out of 10, which is kind of like 10 out of 10 because my rating system makes no sense. But yeah, this has always been one of my favorites. Love this movie. Thank God this is almost over. So until next time, yeah, cheers. Thanks a lot.